What's up, y'all, and welcome back to the Common Sense Podcast, where common minds come together because
common sense ain't common, y'all. And this is
it's so crazy.
y'all. We had a whole different idea to give y'all a little bit something different today. We was gonna be like, we stray away from beef. It's getting kind of crazy. And then on May 3rd,
Around 11 o'clock,
we was like, man, we be doing a disservice not to talk about it.
right? So we're not gonna waste any more of y'all time. Let's just go ahead and get to it. Cue the intro.
So, starting off, Drake, or Champagne Poppy as he likes to go off of on Instagram, had posted a picture of caution tape on his story late at night, I think May 3rd. So I was expecting maybe he was writing something, but I wasn't expecting a drop. Then he comes out with the song Family Matters. What is it? Okay, when you hearing it first time, tell you Drake got a track, Family Matters. You got done listening to it for the first time. What was your thoughts on that?
First listen was the shock factor was
Crazy.
at an all-time high. Just like when you woke up in the morning and you heard Euphoria and you was like, oh wait, Kendrick dropped something.
Right.
It was like we was not expecting Drake to drop at that time,
Right.
especially in less about a day's time.
Yeah, really like 11 hours.
Yeah, really. So it's not really a day, but even then, the shock factor and what he was saying in the diss track was crazy. Absolutely crazy. The bars was crazy. It was a good song too. And yeah, just complete shock. But little did we know things would change, and we would get surprised again.
Right. Before we get to, Kendrick's, because the Drake track, I believe, is called Family Matters. Kendrick was Meet the Grams. I hate to be the one to say, like, the hot take or something that's just outrageous, and I hate to be a prisoner of the moment.
Oh, Lord. What you gonna say?
Drake just dropped the best diss track of all time.
I beg your pardon. And
I look. I know that is stepping on some categories. He didn't ether him. He did something more than that. I think it was the rapping ability. I feel like a lot of people lost because he been dropping stuff like All the Dogs. What was that album, like the dance hall album, which was kind of weird.
I forgot what that one was called.
Yeah.
Honestly, never mind.
Right?
Yeah.
He's been singing a lot. A lot of y'all forgot that the boy can rap. He can really rap. And I think I know everyone is talking about like the details that was in the diss tracks, which we will get to. But as far as rapping performance, that is the best I've seen Drake rap in a couple of years. Like the rapping performance itself was insane to hear first listen.
I agree.
I knew he was on Demon Time when I saw the Good Kid, Mad City van
being crushed. that in a visual, and we're gonna get more into like the visuals and the things we noticed, like he said. So you're saying that this is the greatest diss track of all time, meaning it's better than No Vaseline, it's better than Ether. So my question to you is, what are your standards for like a good legendary diss track?
I think the timing of it is important. How did it happen? Did you respond quick? Did it take forever to happen? I think timing is important on a good diss track. Second, the shock value. And I know people be like, bro, rappers be lying. First of all, y'all be lying. Everybody be lying.
Yeah.
So the shock value of Family Matters is insane. It's insane.
He pulled some stuff out we was not expecting,
thought.
Especially not just going after Kendrick, going after everybody.
And one thing I'll commend Drake on, again, is why I call it one of the best. He made sure y'all could see every lyric he was writing. There is no dispute about what he said because he typed it out for you before he even finished the bar. Typed it out for you. And you know what? The song was good. I could go listen to it again. Like, I know we just talked about we want to listen to it like in a car or something like that. But like, I mean, like just chilling.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if you was just, you was just chilling, or you was just like, just in a different state, you could play that. and it would still go off. I feel like more of Kendrick's is more like, I'm an investigator and I'm having to really look in deep dive to something, and it's so time sensitive. Whether
and
Drake,
the beats is slow too.
Yeah,
the beats are slow.
They're two different tempos, but to me, it's historic because I've never seen anyone get dissed like this.
But when you see the car, and first of all, the way he started the track,
right. He knew, because Kendrick told him he can't say the N word.
He can't say the N word no more. Right. It's like it was very calculated. It was, I'm coming for heads.
That's what it seemed like.
It seemed like I don't care, like demon time, like you said.
Right. And one thing I want to put on is, how do you feel about the sides or the angles they're taking at each other? So we'll start with Drake first. Drake threw some punches and like maybe 50 push-ups, right? We'll start from there, right? About the whole label being thing, the whole label thing. You dropping 50 for this, dropping that. Kendrick goes the route of, he not black for real. He don't understand. He's bad for the black community. How do you view the way they're shooting at each other?
Well, if we're going, are we talking about the two diss tracks we just heard, or all together, just everything?
Kind of all together, all together, yeah.
Honestly, if we're talking about the allegations, that's a whole nother thing, because we need to know who's telling the truth and who's lying. That's number one. Number two, I mean, I kind of thought that was the route they was gonna go. Like, okay, no disrespect to Kendrick, because his diss tracks were good. His bars were good.
I think
like
616 was better than Euphoria.
I agree. I like 616 better than Euphoria. But both of the songs had some crazy bars in it. Like, it's Kendrick. You know, we expecting that from him.
Right.
But I will say, in my personal opinion, Rick Ross kind of ruined, I won't say ruined, he kind of
spoiled it.
He kind of spoiled some of Kendrick's diss tracks for me.
It's like when Mulatto was on Twitter and she told everything that she was going to say. Or like when Nicki was on Twitter. Yeah, when Nicki was on Twitter and she said everything she was going to say about Meg, and her diss track didn't hit as hard.
The diss track didn't hit as hard. It's like we were talking about, like, for example, we was talking about the diss track that Nicki released. Everything that Nicki was going to say in her diss track, she put it on Twitter. So when we heard it, it was just kind of like, this is the same stuff you said on Twitter.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, like, Kendrick brought the bars. Like, we was expecting that. But at the same time, everything that Rick Ross was alluding to or was talking about was what Kendrick was kind of talking about. And so it was like, there was nothing really new. Like, you know, we heard about Drake, him being light skinned and not being able to
raise his kids. He's a bad
raise
father.
His kids. He's a bad father.
All that stuff about Drake,
yeah. And so I guess Rick Ross kind of doing that kind of made me be like, okay, I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that already. Rather as Drake in Family Matters, he
takes a shot not just at Kendrick. It feels like it was everybody.
Everybody got the smoke.
I mean, A$AP Rocky, I know you're a big Rihanna fan. He dropped the Fendi bar in there.
He dropped the Fenty bar, Metro Boomin, The Weeknd, Rick Ross, of course. I'm just going off the top of my head, so I may have forgotten
Metro Boomin,
somebody.
Rick Ross, The Weeknd.
Yeah.
And so, another thing I want to get to you before we get to the big, what he said about Kendrick. How do you feel about Kendrick taking the aim at Drake for being, he can't say, he's being biracial, as in he can't say certain things, he's bad for the black community. How do you feel about that?
Well, first of all, newsflash, the culture that we're talking about now as far as black culture, and that's a whole nother discussion in itself. Sure, we can say Drake is a culture vulture, even if we're talking about it in that sense, even if we agree with that, right, sentiment. Kendrick, even though Drake would be taking, I guess you could say he would be taking advantage of the black culture and basically taking some of the stuff that black people have made, even though Drake is black, but I don't know, like, just because you have a lighter skin, I guess you could say, doesn't necessarily mean that you can't. First of all, it's a very controversial thing because a lot of people shouldn't be using the N-word at all. For sure. But I guess it's because he doesn't have that experience, or he hasn't lived the life that a quote unquote black person would have lived, or he doesn't have that experience that black people would have had, but that most black people go through. But But then he turns around in 616 and say that your son, Adonis, you're a black man.
Right.
So if Adonis is a black man,
how is Drake
not a black man? That is my only critique on that. It's just kind of like, just because Drake's child is going to grow up in a different light. He's going to grow up in a different atmosphere than a lot of children, not even just black children, a lot of children in the United States or over the world. So I'm just thinking of like, I'm not really sure where he's going with that. I'm not really sure what I want to say as far as that, because it's a lot of gauges and I guess you could say standards that people have to meet when it comes to blackness and when it comes to the black experience. So I'm not really sure what I would say about that, but all I want to say is, what's the difference between Drake being quote unquote a culture vulture to the black community and you reaching out to the white community and getting support from the white community?
Right.
Which is what Drake was alluding to.
And the thing, hey, black or white, hey, Drake can rap. Look, that's
right.
That's all I gotta say. I think the shock value of Family Matters was when he was talking about, I think it was the last couple seconds where Drake was like, you got a whole crisis team to cover up the fact that you beating your wife. And so once you hear stuff like this, to me, it surpasses a diss track, because that claim against him, especially a man, you're killing his career after that.
Now,
you're killing his career.
At this point, especially after he released Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
Right, where he kind of admitted to having to fix some of those issues, but we didn't know that, though.
Right.
We didn't know you was beating your wife.
And that's what I'm saying. It's the shock factor, because everything that Kendrick has said in his diss tracks has been stuff that we heard about Drake before. Kendrick being so quiet and being so secluded and secretive,
it's more believable. It's more believable because we don't know.
We don't know it. And then it could be like, when Drake brought that up, it's like, whoa,
right?
Kendrick beating his wife. Whoa,
it's crazy.
Yeah, like whoa.
But to pivot a little bit, 5 minutes. It felt like 5 minutes. I don't know how long it was.
It was like 15, 20. It had to be 15 to 20 minutes.
My phone blows up again saying there's a song called "Meet the Grams" out. I'm like, Kendrick responded that fast.
Ain't no way.
Meet the Grams. Okay.
Ain't no way.
My first listen, like what I was getting from Kendrick. First of all, they're totally two different types of vibes. Both songs. Kendrick is more slower. Kendrick is like described as like someone is sneaking up behind you and trying to assassinate you. That's what it felt. It was very eerie. It felt like he was in a dark room.
A scary movie.
Like he wrote that with just candlelight. Like he ain't had no LEDs. No nothing, just candlelight and anger, candlelight and anger. And so the big shocker, he says Drake has another kid. Drake already said that's cap. He said it's cap as soon as he heard it. Night, last night he said that was cap. As far as what the whole Drake kid thing, what's your view on that?
It could be real.
Give me the percentages. What's the percentage he telling the truth? Like what you think? Like what you think? Like, what you think?
I say it's about. The reason why I say it's 50-50.
Yeah.
Because Drake is known for getting around.
He does.
He's known. He said it himself. He gets it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But Drake had a child by a porn star.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing in itself. For you to be someone at Drake's stature, for you to get someone like that pregnant, that's kind of embarrassing. Right. And he didn't reveal it himself, but I think once you done got that out there, it's like, what can anybody really say?
Right.
Like if Drake, like, because that was revealed, I don't think Drake would care if he had, like, I think we would know already.
Right. Because especially with social media, you told me that girl's mom, that girl herself came out on social media. I mean, she could have got paid off too, though.
She could have got paid off.
Drake had a whole lot of money. He could have been like, look, I'm gonna keep giving you this.
Right.
Don't say nothing.
I'm gonna take care of you. Don't say nothing.
A lot of women would do that. But he really gave him a TED talk about being a man. It feels like he was like trying to disfigure Drake completely. Right. Like he was going after his parents. He basically said Drake is Harvey Weinstein, going after younger girls, and he has been seen doing that. Remember when Ice Spice popped up on the scene? Who was the first to hit her up for real? Yeah. It was Drake.
Sexy Red.
It was Drake, and all these younger girls that you've seen, like some of these younger actresses, you've seen Drake posted up with them when they like 16, 18, kind of on the gap. And he also called out Steph, LeBron, saying stop bringing your kids around him because he's wild. With all these accusations, to me, this is a lose-lose scenario for the both of them. Nobody wins.
I agree.
No, even if you win, you
don't really win.
You don't win. Because if you look at it from Kendrick's point of view, if you beat your wife and Drake got receipts, your career is
over.
Even if you say you was going to retire, your whole legacy is stained as a rapper.
Right.
If
no one will look at you, especially now.
Right. With the climate how it is, it is.
Yeah, like it's something you can't come back from.
Right. And if Drake, the stuff about Drake is true as well, whether it's the Harvey Weinstein or the daughter, his career takes a dip as well, in my opinion. Yeah. So it's like, it's beyond a diss track because y'all are slaughtering each other's careers.
Or even if with Drake, like, if the allegations are true about him being compared to Harvey Weinstein and trafficking girls, if that's true, oh my gosh.
Exactly. And this climate, somebody's going to jail at the end of this, right? I don't see any way where both of these dudes can walk away and be like, we good after this. Yeah. And I feel like that's the difference between every other beef and this one. This beef is so highlighted because of the social media aspect of it and what they're saying about each other.
Right, what they're saying. And the two people, because these are two of the people that have been in the discussion for the greatest rapper of all time. And so...
It's a heavyweight... It's a heavyweight fight. But I feel like when the bell rings, when the clock hits 0, ain't no winners in this. Right. Except for J. Cole.
Hey, that apology looking real different.
That bite sound real nice to y'all, right? That
bite.
He didn't want to be happy. I'm trying to tell you. I know we've been talking about the tracks and just in general, but you know, my co-host Deandra got a little theory for y'all. She we was talking about it yesterday, and she was like, "Some seem a little fishy, man." What's fishy, man?
Y'all can't tell me. Okay, everything is playing too well together. Let me jump into this.
Okay.
So Kendrick drops Euphoria.
Right.
Then Kendrick drops a snippet of 616.
Correct.
Picture of the glove, the Maybach gloves, right?
Right.
You know, hours later, Drake responds.
Right. Same day. Was it maybe a day after? I think he gave him a day. Because 616, it came out. Did it come out Friday?
616 didn't it come out yesterday morning?
Yeah, so it did come out. Oh, so same day.
It came out on the same day. Same day. So Drake responds in the same day with Family Matters.
Right. Which is highly detailed in a whole music video was shot for.
Right. And I'll get into the details of the music video too, but I'm just I'm going down my thought process as I'm watching the video and listening to both of the diss tracks.
Right.
So Drake responds with Family Matters, and then 20 minutes later...
Didn't even give a second to breathe.
Right. Like, literally, within 15 to 20 minutes, we get 616.
No, we get, it's called Meet the Grams.
Oh, I'm tripping. We get Meet the Grams. Right. First of all, the titles already give me, like, orchestrated vibes.
Right.
Family Matters, Meet the Grams.
Right.
Come on now. That's number one. Number two... let's just think if this was a real rap beef,
right,
like how we think like regular rap beefs are, Kendrick would have heard Family Matters at the same time we all did.
Right.
If this is a real rap beef. Now, I know there are some theories or there are some rumors being spread that it's an OVO leak and Drake has a mole. We'll get into that a little bit later. But everything is just falling together a little too smoothly. If you listen to both diss tracks, everything that both parties are saying in their diss tracks, they're kind of like mixing together and they sound like they're addressing each other at the same exact time. So everything that both parties are saying in their diss tracks are being responded to or reacted to in the counter track. And it's just like for example, we noticed that Drake had an Ozempic line dealing with Rick Ross, right? And then Kendrick also had an Ozempic line. And that could just be a coincidence.
Right.
But how is it that detailed in less than 10 to 15 minutes? It's almost like
you responded to him with another 6-minute song in 15 minutes.
Right. And so, and it's just like, he did not make that song in 10 to 15 minutes. He had that ready to go.
They said originally that his Euphoria song was like 17 minutes. like 17 minutes of him right now. So that could have been the second part. Maybe
it could have been the second part, but even then, that just lets me know. Okay, if Drake, let's talk about the fact that Drake has a mole, right? If there is someone feeding information to Kendrick,
right,
is it true, or did Drake orchestrate that to give him wrong information?
Because like somebody's got to be playing chess here,
right? Somebody's lying and somebody's telling the truth.
But like I said, it feels like nobody can win. Nobody's gonna win this battle that everyone has kind of wanted. And I honestly feel like, you know, there's a whole bunch of talks about Kendrick being the savior of rap. Right. Mm-hmm. So, what if, you know, rap to me, we talked about it a little bit earlier with the female rappers, how they're being like promoted and how rap is going. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like rap needed this, or it would have died, or is it still on the brink of dying? Because I mean, everybody's trying in a beef right now, kind of like we brought up last episode. Mm-hmm. Everybody's trying to get something out, but rap ain't making no more albums anymore. It's not good music. It's just all beat. It's like all static now.
And I was gonna say, like, in hindsight, when it first happened, I was like, oh yeah, something interesting. Right. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like we did all this beefing, we went through all this beefing, and we got no, like, yeah, we got diss tracks out of it,
but we ain't getting no really replayability. Like, right. When you think of that Drake, even as good as that Drake song is, like I said, to me, it's the greatest diss track of all time. You can add me. Greatest diss track of all time. If that, like, I don't see myself replaying it, like, when I'm driving down the street, unless I just really don't like Kendrick Lamar.
Right.
Which is just not true.
Like, you just don't want to listen to somebody hating on somebody, like you driving to the grocery store. You know, you ain't gonna put that on.
I hate Kendrick. I hate his life, and you just trying to get, like, you put your milk in the back seat. Like,
I hate the way you walk. I hate the way you sleep.
Somebody gonna hear you in your car and be like, bro, who are you beefing with? Like, it's crazy because everybody's into it though. So I think the real question is, somebody's lying.
Somebody
who
has
receipts for real? Who has these real receipts? Because Kendrick ain't said nothing about anything Drake said. No. Drake has came out and said something, but it's honestly not Kendrick's style to talk on social media either. Right. But it's just like, who? I feel like the public appeal is split, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, what side do you believe? You know, and what side? Who do you believe? What diss track is more believable in your opinion? Or are they both? To me, both of them have probably done some wrong, right?
Right.
Both of them aren't innocent, right?
Right.
But if you had to listen, you listen to Meet the Grams, you listen to what's it called? Family Matters. What sounds more realistic? Like what sounds like somebody, I'm telling the truth, y'all can believe it or not?
See, that's difficult. It's really a hard question to answer, because when you look at Drake's diss track, right, it could be considered believable because Kendrick is so secretive,
right?
And we, like, literally in this day and age, people who you never thought would have done some slimy stuff. I mean, look at Diddy. Like, I wasn't aware of Diddy before, and I wasn't that.
That's just the people we caught.
Right, like
we still don't know. Yeah.
Like, we still don't know. It's so many people that could be doing some. Y'all know the music industry. Y'all know the Hollywood in itself. Like, there's so much stuff going behind closed doors to where him, and I said this, they either lying on each other. I mean, either somebody lying or they both telling the truth about each other.
But that's what I'm saying. But if that's the case, both of y'all going to jail.
But hey, all I'm saying is, like I said, it's so much crazy things that takes place in Hollywood and the music industry, to where as far as Drake's case, Kendrick Lamar, it sounds more believable because he's so secretive. And then when Kendrick Lamar came out saying that he had a daughter and multiple children, he came out and said that's not it, that's not true. But Kendrick hasn't came out and said anything about that as of yet, and neither has Kendrick's family or any of, like, people that are tied to Kendrick. Right. Like, Kendrick's wife hasn't came out and said no, he's never beaten me. Kendrick's wife
doesn't talk at all.
That's what I'm saying. So but that's what I'm saying. It's hard to say.
But and Drake's soul is at such a height of celebrity that Kendrick could be telling the truth, but in people's eyes, it's like, it's Drake.
Yeah, Drake.
Like kind of like when Michael Jackson got caught for touching children, right? People wouldn't want to believe. It's kind of funny that we say that because he keeps comparing himself to Michael Jackson, right?
Yeah.
But you know, it's like, Mike wouldn't do that.
Yeah, because it's Michael Jackson.
Mike
That's the thing. But that's the thing, though.
Right.
We don't know.
We don't know who's telling.
We don't know these
right.
people. Like at the end of the day, we listen to their music for entertainment. We are entertained by these diss tracks. But at the end of the day, we don't know these people
because at the end they close that studio door and they walk into their own house, and
we don't know what happens. And that's why I'm saying it's possible that they both could be telling the truth about each other. We really do not know. We really do not know.
But we do want to know what you guys think as well. Which, first question, if you're going on in the comment section, which diss track was better? You know, I want to know which one y'all thought. Is y'all riding with Family Matters or y'all riding with Meet the Grams? Or was it Meet the Grams, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Or, you know, tell me who's winning the beef so far. Is it 2-1? Is it 1-1? What's the score on your opinion? To me, the score. Look, first of all, I know y'all gonna be like, he hating on Kendrick again. Well, maybe I'm just a Kendrick hater. Maybe. I'm really not though. But I think the score is. I think it's 2-1 Drake. I think 616 was better than 50 push-ups. But I think, well, I'll say it's 1-1 then. I think 616 was better than 50 push-ups. I think Eulogy was just a miss, in my opinion.
You mean Euphoria?
Euphoria. Some Kendrick fans call it a usually. Oh my God, I can't say it. Eulogy. But I do think Family Matters is the best track out of all of the things that they've released.
So I think I would go with Drake, but not by much. I think it's about even, but I would pick Drake.
Let us know. Let us know who you think's in the lead, who's winning. Let us know what you thought about both these tracks. Common sense out, man.